Hello, welcome to A Day in the Life. I have been so excited about this webinar, and I just am so excited to be spending our Wednesday afternoon with you. So I see some people joining in, so I'm going to give it a couple minutes. Hello, Gina, Holly, Katie, Nicole. I know we've got some director's note taker, classic directors coming in. Hello, students. If you are sitting in the classroom, thank you all so much for being here. And we're just going to give it about 1 minute before we go ahead and get started. So, as you're joining in here, just go ahead and put in the chat where you're tuning in from and what you're most excited about for today. Go ahead and type it in the chat. I know some of you might not be at the actual computer if you're in the classroom. Well, I'm going to go ahead. We're at 1 after the hour, so I'm going to go ahead just to keep us right on time. For those of you tuning in live, I'm going to get us started, and I want to give you some context of why we ultimately did this session. So, I think there is social media is a wonderful place, and it's also can be confusing with a lot of information, especially when you are a student and trying to seek out and find what career path is truly right for you. Not what other people tell you is right for you, what is truly right for you. So this is a really amazing firsthand experience to meet three different types of real professionals, all doing three of the really the three core career paths that we speak about in the Money EDU curriculum, and you're going to get to hear from each of them today. So as we talk about, we have three career paths. There is an entrepreneur, which is, as we define it, a business with employees. There is an intrapreneur, someone who works within the structure of an existing business but builds their own business. And then there is a solopreneur, which is a business of one. So without further ado, we are going to start off with our panelists, and I'm going to introduce them. And I'm just going to go directly to Miss Candice Gliatto. Candice, tell us about you and tell us about your role.
My name is Candice Gliatto. I am a salon owner, which makes me an entrepreneur. Um, and so I have a salon in the Bay Area in California, and I have a second salon in the Portland area in Oregon. And so I've been at it for about 17 years. My baby, Citrus, my firstborn, turned 17 this year. I started out actually as solo with Citrus and then turned into an entre in 2010 and or 11, excuse me. And I love it. I love it. And I also work for Qnity. I'm the education director and coaching director for Qnity. So I get to do a lot of fun things like this, and I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, so I think that's also really interesting to call out. Candice runs her own business with, and how many team members do you have?
Across both businesses, we have 35 team members.
Okay, so that's a lot of employees that you're managing on a day-to-day basis. And Candice also serves in a leadership role with us at Qnity too on our business side of things. So you essentially have, well, everyone knows an entrepreneur has like 500 jobs, but you essentially have two kind of formal jobs, which is kind of crazy, but kind of amazing.
I do. I have two jobs. It is crazy and amazing, and I love it. And I like to stay busy. I'm kind of hyper, so there's that.
Yeah, well, and you live in the Bay Area, which everyone knows in the Bay Area is wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it helps with that situation
Yeah.
too.
All right, let's go to Miss Catherine. Kat,
Hi,
excuse me. Sorry, Kat. Thank you.
no worries. My name's Kat. I am the intrapreneur in this panel. I actually work at Candice's salon in the Bay Area. I have been doing hair for 14 years. I'm the specialist. I do lived in and extensions at the salon. I actually started going to school, did the apprenticeship program and worked through that. Then I was a solopreneur and then now I'm intrapreneur. So I've kind of gone across everything. I'm a mom. And my son he just turned 6 on Earth Day. He's an Earth Day baby. And I'm just excited to be here, kind of like share my story. And yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kat. We're going to have to dive into your experience coming from solo and back into intra because I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. Jacqueline, Last but certainly not least, Jacqueline is a solopreneur, which sounds like might be changing into an entrepreneur really soon, which is very exciting. But Jacqueline, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, so my name is Jacqueline. I am a solo stylist. I own Curated Hair and Company. It's a salon outside of Atlanta, Georgia, in Alpharetta specifically. And I have been a hairstylist for over 13 years, in solopreneurship for over 8 years. And I have basically went through anything and anything you can think of when it comes to being a solo stylist. So I'm excited to share all about that. And I specialize in layered haircuts and do lots of content creation.
I love it. Okay. So let's go for round one. I really want you guys to like, and just for everyone listening, the direction here was just like, be honest. That was really like kind of the preparation here. So my goal is, and I know all the panelists agree, is just that we can have really honest, transparent conversations. So I see some directors in here. And if you're a student, just so that you really can have the best information to make the best possible decision. So I'm going to go back and start with Candice. Candice, tell us, kind of paint the picture of a day in the life as an entrepreneur.
A day in the life as an entrepreneur. Well, the first thing I'll say is no 2 days in the life of an entrepreneur are the same. It changes pretty dramatically. So, for me, it starts off with taking care of myself. I like to get some exercise in the morning so I get my head in the right space, be ready for the day. I start my day off at home. In fact, I'm at home right now. Make sure I get all of my more admin focused responsibilities taken care of. So, just to paint a picture, it's gym at 6, at the computer by 8:30, and then at the salon by 11. And when I'm at the salon, my role today really is around connecting with the people, seeing how everything's going, making sure things are running smoothly, everybody feels happy. I kind of consider myself the uh, kind of culture nurturer of the salon because I have an amazing team that takes care of the operations side of things. And so I like to just be there and be with people. So I do a lot of meetings, sprinkle a few Qnity meetings in there, coaching sessions, things like that. Wrap up my day around 5:30, get back home to my family. I also am a mom. I have a son who's 12. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell on a smooth day.
On a smooth day, yeah. Talk to us. So you mentioned your team. You have an
Yeah,
amazing leadership team that helps run operations. And
I do.
for those of you who, Candace, can you explain, for those of you who haven't been in the traditional business world yet, explain what operations means?
Yeah, so operations is really, all of the systems that are in place to make your business function from the time you open the door in the morning until you lock it up at night. And so that can be, your processes for checking clients in and out. It can be your systems for making sure a client experience is consistent and smooth. It's also all the things that make the business function. So keeping the finances going and the bills paid and the schedule functioning and all of that. So that's operations. And so I actually, at this point, when I first opened the salon, I wore all the hats and I did do all of that. Eventually, I had new team members come that took on those responsibilities
Hmm.
because they can become too much as you grow, for one person
Hmm.
at least.
Yeah. And Candace, that was kind of your best day. Like the picture you painted was your best kind of smooth day. What about your worst day as an entrepreneur?
Oh gosh, what is my worst day? I mean, my worst day wakes up with I wake up to chaos, right? Whether it's somebody that is unable to come in, or even worse, somebody's leaving, and we have to pick up all of those pieces. And so, when those types of things happen, it's absolutely rough because you've got your heart part of it. You're like, oh my God, why is this happening? And then you've got the logistics part of it to deal with, and balancing those two things can be really difficult. So that's an example of like the absolute worst day. What tends to happen after that is like kind of a snowball effect because everybody's kind of
Hmm.
dealing with whatever the crisis is, and then all the other things kind of fall apart, and it's not good. And so what we have to do is like lock in, get everybody on the same page, and just go on kind of triage mode. Those days are long days, right?
Hmm.
The workout doesn't happen, the time at the computer doesn't happen. I'm not home by 5:30. That's just not reality on those days. But luckily, as I've grown as an entrepreneur, I've learned a lot from those really crappy days, and I'm able to get in front of them. So they're a lot fewer and far between. Kat works at the Martinez salon here in the Bay Area. She knows she's seen us go through those real craptastic days, but for the most part, they're few and far between because I have a great leadership team and expanded team in place. So.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so just for context too, when Candace said someone leaving, that essentially means an employee quitting or having to fire someone, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
And
worst part
so,
of it.
yeah, that is the worst part of a job for an entrepreneur, right? For you, right, Candace, would you say?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
There's nothing even close that's a close second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having to fire someone or having someone come to you and quit, and also what that means from a revenue side of things. And, people take clients, it can be a whole messy situation. So, and just so you guys know too, and I think this is interesting about the panel, and Corinne, I think this is a note. We have really experienced people on this panel. Like Candace is a very experienced entrepreneur. She's been doing this for 17 years. Kat, you said what, 13 years?
14.
14 years. And Jacqueline, you said 11, right?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone has been in this over a decade. I think, Corinne, maybe the next panel we do, we need like people 3, 4 years out because I wonder, like, if we could go back and talk to you guys like 2 years out, how those conversations, could potentially change too. So, Candace, if I were to ask you this like 3 years into entrepreneurship, what would you have told me?
Like as far as what my worst day would be, like what
Yeah,
would be happening, it would be probably like something more operational that
yeah,
my managers are handling now, right? So, yeah, somebody calls out sick and then the toilet breaks and you're not a plumber, but you've got to figure out where to get a plumber, and then clients cancel, people are unhappy, you get a bad Yelp review, like
yeah,
that was a crappy day in the beginning. And so those days are now managed by other people. And then if but that used to be, and it is, those things are a really big deal. It's not like, oh, I've got more experience and those things don't bother me anymore. It's just I have more hands to help me. But
hmm,
those operational things, that ran my life for the first, I would say, until about 2018. That was like I was in the thick of it with all of that. In fact, not to go on for too long, that's why I'm a Qnity educator now, because I was able to get involved with Qnity as a client, and they helped me put systems in place in my business so that I could get out of the weeds like that. And so that
hmm.
was really kind of what my story was. But those first 10 years or so were super intense. And sadly, the first 10 years or so of my kid's life too, which was kind of brutal being a mom and having to do all those things all at once. So it's nice to be on the other side of it.
Yeah, for sure. And one
Yeah,
last thing before we move to Kat. A big thing for Candace is you're no longer behind the chair, correct?
correct. Yeah, I stopped working behind the chair in 2017 as I was gearing up to move into our large location. And then I had some crap hit the fan and went back behind the chair and worked for about a year, and then got back out of it. And I even most recently went back in 2021, like the post-COVID thing. And so it hasn't been a linear retirement, but yes, now I have been out from behind the chair for the last 5 years.
So purely overseeing the team and the overall business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, Kat, let's go to you. Tell us about your best day as an entrepreneur and your worst day. Like kind of walk us through the full day in the life of Kat.
So I'm gonna wake up, and I like to wake up before my son, so I usually try to wake up at 5:45 with the attempt of working out. It's about 40% of the time I actually work out, but I'm awake. And then I will do my makeup. I kind of like to get ready before my son's up, so I'll get dressed, I'll do my makeup, nails, I'll make my own breakfast, my lunch, things like that. Get him up, take him to school with no hiccups. It's like he's juiced to get in the car, you know. Drop them off. I'm not running late. I get here. I get to like canoodle. Maybe I get to go get Starbucks, hang out. I got all my favorite clients. I'm doing all fun things. Maybe my clients long term want to switch it up a little bit. And I just basically get to sit and chit chat with my clients all day. I finish on time. Great. And I just get to go home, and I really love to cook. So I'll make dinner. Me and my son, he's obsessed with trains, so we'll play a little bit of trains. And I also am a big fan of Fortnite. So then I finish my night off by putting it to bed and play Fortnite.
That's
Great
amazing.
time. Yeah,
Okay, Kat, how many days a week do you work right now?
I work 3.
3 days a week.
Mhm.
Okay, that's Candace. How many days a week do you work?
I work 5 days a week.
5 days a week. And are you fully off on the weekends?
Uh, for the most part,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, I
cool.
mean, of course, there's events and things like
Mhm.
that, and of course, Qnity events. Um, I work, I guess I'm not fully off. I work like on my computer every day.
Yeah.
So I work
Okay.
every day. Yeah. Yeah, unless I'm on vacation.
Okay. So, Kat, you're in for 3 days. That's incredible, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah. And how long did it, and tell me about the process of getting to be able to kind of make the income that you want within that time frame.
It's definitely been a long journey. Obviously, I've been doing hair for 14 years, and my son is 6, and he got his autism diagnosis right before he was 3, which is that was the time where I made the shift and became an entrepreneur and had to change a lot of things about my life. And there's therapies, he has school and things like that. So almost every quarter or maybe every 6 months, I was having to change my schedule to be okay. I'm
Mm,
going to work every other day, so I had childcare, and it was kind of all over the place with flexibility wise. But now I'm kind of more set. I have a pretty good clientele here at Citrix. I've been here now for 2.5 years. So I have a very strong clientele. I also have clients I've had for, 10 plus years because I have been doing hair for a very long time, and they followed me here. And so, and also through kind of guidance with Candice, which is really nice, I've been able to kind of look at my numbers, which I never really looked at before. And I was able to kind of do my price increases to help me not have to be behind the chair as much, but still make the same amount of money. And so now I just work 3 days, and I don't work on the weekends. So
that's killer. Okay,
yeah.
amazing.
Works
What
three
is a,
long days. You do work three pretty long days though, don't
I
you?
work 9.5 hours.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's incredible though.
That's still
Um,
3 days.
okay,
It's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, that's really amazing. Okay, so what does the worst day when it comes to work look like?
Worst day. I'm running late. Love to be on time, but unfortunately, sometimes running late. Maybe my hair got a little messed up with kind of trying to get my son, so now I'm having to style my hair before I get my client and making sure that I'm here before my client. Um, I when things happen like that and you're kind of thrown out of routine, for me, throws me into a mood where I'm like not loving the hair I'm producing, even if it's great, even if it's beautiful hair. And I have a great team behind me who's like, that looks great. What are you worried about? But just starting off on a bad routine and not having that all set and kind of going in relaxed can totally snowball my whole day. Maybe I'm running late, and then I have anxiety. The apprentice is helping somebody else, so I can't use her, or something like that. And even if I do, have great relationships with my clients that day, or I do great hair, it still kind of eats at me. And then of course just running late, and that just bleeds into life at home.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, amazing. Um, let's go to Jacqueline. Tell us, tell us the life of Jacqueline. Best day and then worst day.
Okay, so my best day, pretty much every day is the same for me. I'm very like, I I'm pretty very routine, I would say. So I typically wake up and the first thing I do is, walk over to my coffee pot and have to make my coffee. And then after that, I will browse my social media. I'll check on my insights and stuff because I'm very honed in on growing that. And then I'll check emails. I'll look at what I am walking into for the day in terms of my schedule. I work about 3 to 4 days behind the chair. So I like to look at that. I check in with my assistant, and then from there, I make my way over to the salon. And all goes well. Everyone's happy with their hair. I'm filming my videos, and pretty much when I come home, I already probably have food meal prepped for the week. So I have my dinner ready to go. And I always end my night like reading or watching a sermon or something like that, just to like set the good intent for the rest of the night. And then I start again the next day.
I
Pretty
love it.
boring.
Okay. Um, okay, tell me about what your worst day would look like.
Okay, so my worst day would probably be that I should have went to the beauty supply store and bought product that I needed, and I am running to either Salon Centric or Cosmoprof before I have to go to work, and I am having to buy product for the day, and then I'm obviously in a state of like rushing. Also, one kind of fun thing I've been running into lately is dealing with chargeback situations. So people are charging back a service they paid for, and then having to deal with that and spiraling, being like, why is this happening? What's going
Mm,
on? Trying to recover all the information, send my receipts to the payment processor, and probably got a bad Google review, and yeah, and then also now that I have brought on my first like employee, dealing with a whole set of other issues of having to train her, making sure she's doing what she's supposed to do. She's on her phone a lot. I've had to get onto her a lot about that. And because I do charge like high prices, I'm like, I'm providing a luxury service, and my clients are going to expect your full attention as well, not just mine. So, yeah, it would be something like that, like a little altercation, and then I'm just rushing, running the whole day, and probably didn't have lunch.
yeah. Okay, so Jacqueline, really you've moved into like where you guys are seeing Jacqueline move from a solo into now an entrepreneur where she is technically managing someone. So, um, how long, well, I think we know just with years. Well, Jacqueline, how long would you say, because you've been really vulnerable with me about, what it took to be a successful solopreneur and where you are. How long would you say it took you to get to a point where you were like, for lack of a better word, stable?
I would say probably it was the last 4 years of being a solo that I finally, it clicked. Like I was like, all right, it's making sense. Like things are actually working. So yeah, I would say it'd have to be the last 4 years, but I've been a solo for 8 years. So that means 4 years prior to that, it was straight just winging it, figuring it out.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Not great.
Okay, let's talk numbers to the extent that you guys feel comfortable with. Let's talk about income trajectory. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and start with Candice. So just share a little bit about your income trajectory across your career, whatever degree you're comfortable with, and really how long it took for you to get to where you are.
Um, it's interesting. I've really only had like kind of three big jumps that have happened in my career. So when I was working behind the chair, that was like kind of the first phase where I was at a point where I was able to like afford my own place, all of that. And then when I became a salon owner, um, and stopped working behind the chair, that went away like completely. Like I didn't make any money for a while. And so luckily I was married and had some support at that time, and so I was able to kind of crawl my way out of that. Then once I stabilized as a salon owner, then I was able to have an income without providing services. And so if I could do it again, I probably would have done it a little bit more strategically so that I didn't have to go through that dip, but here I am. And so then I got my income to where it actually has been as a salon owner. I have another job, right? So that created a new opportunity for me. But my salon owner income has been sitting at about the same place since about 2019, 18. So
Mhm.
it's not been an easy like 5 years or so as an entrepreneur. And so I'm really fortunate that I've been able to find an additional career opportunity. But yeah, so I think most salon owners would agree that it's not a linear thing in this role.
Mhm. Mhm. And, transparently, because we also work and you also work on our business side with a lot of salon owners that have
Mhm.
employees. Um, what I have found, and I'm curious if you see this, is that the salon owner oftentimes makes less than their top producer. Is that pretty consistent with what you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So typically, and kind of explain what that means for students that are like, what does that mean? Explain that from a salon owner perspective.
So when you're a salon owner and you're not working behind the chair and your income relies on the profitability of the salon. And I have to say, I run my salon financially very conservatively. Like I carry a high amount of reserves for emergencies, and that's just how I feel confident running my business. So I could draw more, but I like to keep it in the bank because things do come up, and they have, and I've been so glad it was there. Right.
Mhm.
So there's that. But so I do have a sustainable and profitable salon. How much I draw from it is a little bit of a different story. So there's that. Um, but the question was, do I make, or does my top producer tend to make more than me? Oh, yeah, for sure. What does that mean? It means that the person working behind the chair that's like growing as our prices grow, and they're getting more and more demand as a hairstylist, they grow pretty significantly. Most of my team members are growing 10% year over year, and so they do surpass me for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And thanks for sharing that because I think that's really important to know. And I also do want to call out that Candice is a above average salon. That is like a important thing for everyone listening. Candice does higher volume than your average salon. Is very skilled financially. So she runs a very strong business that has frankly enabled you to weather a lot of the storms that a lot of businesses would not have been able to weather through when I'm talking about COVID, also being a business in California in COVID. If anyone knows this, California is one of the hardest places to be a business owner, just with some of their laws there. Um, Anything else you want to say about that, Candice, just because you work with so many salons?
I think it is interesting, a lot of folks think like, oh, you grow and then and I hope I'm not like I love what I do. I
Mhm.
absolutely love it and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I have, there's a lot of perks to being a salon owner. Like, I remember the days when I was behind the chair 5 days a week, and it's a very taxing physically and emotionally. It's a very taxing job, right? And so now to have the opportunity to earn my income without so much output is to me worth having things be a little bit more leveled, right? That
Mhm.
works for me and my family right now. So there's
Right.
that. But salon profitability, and if you're not familiar with the term, it's, you got your sales and then you've got all your expenses. And so once you have your sales and you take away the expenses, what's left has been a tricky game to play. So like on the revenue side, things look really good. Like our company does, $2.5 million a year or more for this year since we've got the new location up and running. Um, and I just think it's important for everybody to know that that's like not like what ends up being there at the end, right? And so things can look a certain way because we are high volume. But high volume takes a lot to make those pieces go around. And the leadership team I was talking about before, and just, all of the other things that come with it. So for me, it works and I love it, but it is complex. And so if you want to be an entrepreneur, I really, really cannot stress the importance of knowing how to manage your money. Everything, but extra important because you've got more responsibility of others.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Candice. Let's go to Kat. Tell us about your whole trajectory, income, and also how you got to where you are, and also your ability to do the volume that you do within 3 days.
Yeah. So like I said, I've been doing hair for 14 years. I graduated from Paul Mitchell and I went straight into like an assisting program. At that time, you just get paid hourly assisting, and I was doing a junior stylist thing behind the chair. So income wise wasn't great. I was working at a bar too. I, full transparency, have worked at that bar up until maybe 6 months after I started working at Citrus. So I was working another job as well as doing hair for a very, very long time. Um, I did an apprentice program and worked at the salon for a few years. And like I said, about 4 years in, I went to Solopreneur. And that was right before COVID. That was October 2019. I had just found out I was pregnant, and all that. So I was like working behind the chair, but it was really difficult. And I was again still working at the bar, so I was doing that. And then right after COVID, when I was getting a lot of calls for porch haircuts and stuff like that, and to-go bags, I was like, you know what? I do have a clientele for this. I really just need to go full in. And I like went super, super part-time at the bar, maybe like once a week, and I like fully went solopreneur into a business renting a chair. And I did that for wait, hold on. Yeah. Well, I was doing it before. Sorry, I'm confused with my timeline. Anyway, so then I was doing that. Then I had moved once, one or two salons, just trying to figure out like a good space for me. I wanted to get into extensions, and the area that I was in was not the area that I wanted to be in. So I went to Walnut Creek, if anybody knows the Bay Area. Walnut Creek is a kind of uppity area, whatever. So I went and did extensions there. But that is when I went through divorce. My son got diagnosed autistic, and a lot of other things happened in my life where I was like, wow, being a boss and trying to run my business and being a mother and being a single mom are all things I cannot handle. If you have too many things on your plate, something is going to fall off. And unfortunately, in that situation, my business fell off. And I was maybe not communicating with my clients as much, and I wasn't keeping my books full because I was busy doing other things, which is what led me to Citrus. So I've heard about Citrus since I was in beauty school in the area. They have a great apprentice program. I did not go through Citrus's apprentice program, but I came here in October 2023. And I like one thing I like really want to point out between when me and Jacqueline were talking about our days is outside of work, I do not work. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like outside of work, I get to spend time with my son. I get to cook dinner, and I don't have to worry about, oh, do I have to go to Salon Centric today? Because as Jacqueline was saying, those are 100% things that you are doing when you are a solopreneur. You're running to Salon Centric in the morning when you forgot something, or again, chargebacks, bad reviews, and these are all things that you handle personally yourself. Now I have a great team, so I get to come. I get to come to work. The product is here. I get to say hi to my clients, and then I clock out and I go home. And I don't respond to my clients at 11 p.m. Anymore. And it's just, that's what I was looking for when I wanted to leave solopreneurship. And of course, everyone knows too, after COVID, a lot of things got really expensive. So this was a way that I was able to keep my clients, not have to keep up raising my prices insanely to be able to accommodate them. And within here now, I've been working, like I said, 2.5 years. I'm down to 3 days a week. I just did another price increase because I am very coveted. I don't know. For my skills, my hair is short and red, but for some reason my clientele is all extensions and blondes. Cracks me up. But yeah, so now I'm able to work 3 days a week, and the flexibility with working at Citrus, which is nice, is in not all entrepreneur based or like entrepreneur based salons are going to be like this. But it gives you a lot of autonomy. I am able to pick my schedule. I am able to maybe pick up another day if I want to take my son to Disneyland and make some extra money. I can pick up another day. I can take a big project on a weekend. And I like that flexibility within Candice's business that she's created. So that's kind of
That
where I put it up.
That's awesome. Okay. And look, you guys, all of these, like none of these is, as Kat said, which I love what you said. It's like you don't have to do this. And also for Jacqueline, it might be I get to do this, right? Like
Right.
there's no right career path, as Candace also said too. It is what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your life to look like? And that might change, right? It's changed for Jacqueline, it's changed for Kat, it's changed for Candace, right? And it's just where do you want to start post graduation? Okay, Jacqueline, let's go to you. Tell us about your income trajectory.
Okay, so let me think. So I'll start like basically when I started my solopreneur career, I worked part-time at a dry bar for about 3 years because I had to support myself because I believed, the dream of being your own boss, but I couldn't pay my bills, so I had to work part-time. And then I'll fast forward, and I did that for about 3 years. And then fast forwarding, I went through a hard season of life, and it really put a lot of things into perspective for me. Like kind of like you were saying, Erin, like what do I want? What like am I excited to show up every day? Do I want to do this? And I feel like as a solo, we're constantly second guessing ourselves. At least I do. I'm like, maybe I should just go back into a salon. Like that would be the easy way out. But then I do like the hard work that comes with being a solo. So that hard season kind of led me into basically like any of my free time just went into work. Like it was like there's no time for anything besides work, and it's that's just how life's going right now. And but I use that to kind of refuel and re-inspire my passion of doing hair. And that's my biggest drive and motivation. And I just mastered how to market myself as a solo. And in doing that, I took my business. It's actually funny. I was looking at my Monarch the other day because I've been checking that way more frequently. And I was actually shocked. Like I've been getting better about tracking my numbers, and went I exceeded my income by $60,000 last year.
Wow.
So I increased $60,000 in a single year. And that was from me basically going from making like, I don't know, $1,000 a week for the first, I don't know, 6 years of being a solo because I didn't know how to market myself to now going to over $3,000, $4,000 a week behind the chair and only working sometimes 3 or 4 days. So it's been insane.
That's incredible. And keep in mind the thing with solos too, when that comes in, that's before taxes, right? So then you have to take that
Yes.
off, and that's a big chunk, which is important to call out with students. But it took you, I mean, what do you credit that increase to, Jacqueline? Because that's pretty substantial.
I just feel like I credit it to just showing up every single day, even the days I didn't want to, I still chose to. And I think just being able to show people what I can do as a hairdresser, right? I could show them a good haircut, I can show off a good color. And I feel like how I interact with my clients also is what, accredited that. I stopped treating, my business like a chore and started showing up as like, no, I own this, kind of a thing. It was like a big mindset shift.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, so I want to move us to the final round here. And I think what's really important is to talk about skill set required. And, I think um, both technical and personal. Do you like what skills, both technical and personal, as well as like financial and business, do you believe are most essential to succeed in your role? Like if I just had to go quick fire round robin, let's start with Candace. What do you think are the most essential skills for you?
People skills for sure to be able to communicate in a way that's effective and transparent is essential. Financial management skills are absolutely essential. Sometimes you can get by luck and then it works until it doesn't. And so having that in place is so important. Um, and then I think on the personal side, a certain level of like thick-skinnedness, I think is very, very important.
Mm.
I want to say more, but I want to do lightning round, so I won't. But yes, being tough, being financially smart, and being really good at working with people.
Hmm. And you're also managing just a lot of people's emotions too, emotions and livelihoods. And when you say people skills, it's also supporting 35 people and their emotions with their livelihood and their financial future too, which I think when you say toughness, is that what you refer to as far as like pressure maybe too? I mean, I know
Yeah, pressure.
you don't
Yeah, to
necessarily.
be able, you have to have the ability to withstand pressure and like not want to, bail when it gets hard. And it's not hard all the time. It's just when it's hard, it's really hard, you know?
Mhm.
People say, "Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur because I don't want to have a boss." And I think good entrepreneurs know that that's not really what it is because when you become an entrepreneur and you grow a team, you kind of have like 35 bosses, right? Like that's how I feel now. And yes, I make the decisions, right? But if I want to make this work, I have to make sure that everybody that works for the company is also happy. And so if you're trying to think, "Oh, I want to do my own thing," that's not really what this is at all. I would be lying to
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Kat, what about you?
Um, for the technical part, I think one reason why I have been so successful behind the chair is I did start out through an apprentice program at a salon. I was doing like more natural things. I went to another salon where I did vivids and color corrections, and I just got such a wide range of stuff. Whether I have a specialty now, I feel very confident that anybody could sit in my chair and I can provide a great service, a shag, anything like that. Maybe that's not my specialty, but I think having a lot of just having an open mind on trying a bunch of different styles and working in even different areas and trying to get like that skill set. Um, sorry. I think being someone who was a solopreneur into an entrepreneur, financial literacy is so important. And I even have I have more financial literacy, I think, now that I have been working with Candice, and I actually look at numbers that I knew were good before, but I have an actual number in front of me now where how many people are coming back and how many new clients are coming back and all that stuff is, really important. And one thing that unfortunately as a solopreneur never clicked for me. So
Mm.
I'm really good at the hair part. That part I'm not really great at. So this is why I ended up as an entrepreneur. Coming back, communication, emotional intelligence, time management, professionalism, and consistency. Your clients care about consistency. I'm going to make a
Mm.
joke that I did have to call out like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and my client was like, "I know Kat must be dying," and I was like, and not because saying you have to work yourself to the bone, but I really do want to show up for my clients and they trust you and they trust you with their appearance. You are in a photo. Your hair is in a family photo that's around forever. So they need to have that trust. Um and social media is a big part of this industry now. That's how you get yourself out there. It's visibility. So I think that is a big thing, even if you're just posting on your story every day, just being, again, that's the consistency, just being consistent. And mindset, we have a very potentially taxing job emotionally where we're talking to people every day. And if you're not in the right mindset, that can shift over to you. So just showing up in a great mindset and kind of working from there. There's slow seasons, there's cancellation, there's burnout, there's all these other things, but showing up consistently the same, I think is a really great part part of just like connecting with clients and growing.
Amazing. Candice, because you work with Kat, what would you say is like one of the unique skill sets that you see in Kat that kind of sets her apart as, a really strong entrepreneur?
Yeah, I agree actually with her take on being a really well-rounded stylist. Like she has a very, very high skill level, and so people feel very comfortable in her chair because they know she can walk the walk. The other thing that Kat has going is she is fantastic at promoting herself. And I do
Mm,
think I see a lot of even my own team members, like other team members that come and they say, okay, I work for a salon now, and so I don't want to promote myself. The salon is doing that, and we do that. But I will tell you what, Kat's our busiest stylist
mm.
because she does that. Kat, anytime she comes to me and says, I want to do a price increase, I'm like, yeah, you got a waiting list for 3 months. Let's go. Right? That's good for all of us.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
she has created a demand that has given her an opportunity to grow even more inside of another business. And so that I think is just a huge thing to call out. And then lastly, she's extremely reliable. We have, there are some people that they don't show up for their clients as consistently as they should, and it absolutely creates turnover in their clients. Kat never lets her clients down. She's set her schedule up in a way that works for her so that she can be there, right? And so those things have created a humongous opportunity for her to grow.
That's incredible. So it really feels like to me, the point of difference, absolutely, Kat, is you haven't necessarily, you're in the safety and structure of an existing business, but you haven't let that to go to chance. You're not like depending on citrus. You're like, I'm here, I've got the structure, I'm gonna like make hay while I can,
Yeah,
you know?
and I think that's where the solopreneur comes in because you really do, you are your marketing team, you are your receptionist,
Mhm.
you are everything. And so I think that that's a little still in me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fabulous. Okay, Jacqueline, what about you?
So I will say, being a solo, staying up with your education outside of work is one of the biggest things. I think that honestly kept me stagnant for a very long time. So basically, finding hairdressers in the industry that you are inspired by their work and taking a class, that really helped me level up. In 2021, I took 16 classes and it completely changed everything for me because I could actually give my clients the hair that they were showing me on an inspo photo. I knew how to create curtain bangs. I knew how to, do a lived-in balayage where I was taught when I left my salon, I was still doing freehand hand painting balayage, and my clients did not want that technique anymore. And I wound up losing clients because I couldn't provide the technical skill. And that was something I ran into later on in my solo career was I was like, dang, like I don't get like the cool classes like salons get, and
Mm.
I have to pay for that out of pocket. So doing that, and then, kind of we all talked about the same thing, just showing up every single day. One of my biggest things is like everything you walk into the salon with is left at the door, whatever, you've woke up like feeling, it stays there. And really just being a strong communicator. I'm very empathetic, with my clients. I think, I always want them to feel safe with me, like you can talk to me, but I get that not every hairstylist wants that type of relationship with their clients, but that's just me as a person. And then, yeah, I think marketing on social media obviously has been just such a fun way to release another side of my creativity and has also, led me to being having a wait list, having a few viral videos that I have, 80 to 100 new clients a month is like insane. Like I still sometimes I'm like, how is this even real? Um, but you know, I've been posting videos for 8 years straight also. So, you know, it doesn't, for some, you know, it does happen overnight, but I know for myself, it did not happen overnight. It took 8 years of consistently showing up and, you know, finally it worked. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's you have to show up every single day. I think choosing to like post once a month is not enough to get visibility in 2026.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Final lightning round, then we're gonna wrap this up. Candace, what do you love most about your job and your role?
I love the opportunity to be creative in a different way, right? Like there's being creative doing hair, and then there's being creative and innovative with the business. And so to come up with new ways to engage the team, new ways to bring in new clients, new ways to facilitate education or create team building opportunities. Like I love working on the business so, so much. And so that, and of course, my amazing team.
I love it. Kat, what is your favorite part of the job?
Um, oh, I was thrown off by that. Sorry. What is my favorite part of the job? Honestly, I have a very interesting connection with my clients that some people might not have. I will sit with my clients their whole appointment. I will sit on the stool and we'll gossip and kiki, and I'll go grab Starbucks for us. And I just have such a great friendship with a lot of my clients. And I think that's what makes it so easy for me to come to work is I'm not, and that's you have control over who you bring in your chair with social media. So I post certain things that I want. I post my personality. I post a lot of my personality and funny memes, and I want people in my chair that are also going to vibe with me. And so I think that's the best part. Obviously, I do love that I've gotten to the point in my career where I am really happy with everything that I'm doing behind the chair. That makes everything so much easier instead of
Yeah.
worrying and having that imposter syndrome. But yeah, I think just and being able to go home as an entrepreneur, being able to go home and just be with my son and not have to worry about other things, which is great.
Totally. That's such a huge gift.
Yeah.
Okay, Jacqueline, what's your favorite part?
Feel like lately I do love still my, you know, client experience. That's my like top thing. Same way as Catherine. I will sit with my clients. I'll go be like, hey, you want to get a pizza or something? Like, I'm hungry. We've been doing your hair for 6 hours. Like, I'm very, very chill in that way. But I will say recently I've been loving the business side way more than I thought I would. And I've just been really enjoying like the scaling and seeing, you know, how the business is growing and tracking everything. Like I'm become obsessed with that side. So yeah, and honestly, just the opportunities that, you know, I've gotten through social media, like getting brand deals and stuff and PR. I'm like, I again never thought I would reach that point, but I'm here.
I love it. Well, okay, to wrap this all off, the kind of the theme that I heard from everyone that I think is so important for every student is like expect it to be hard after graduation for a little while. It's normal. These are all really seasoned professionals in their various career paths, right? Everyone here is over a decade. So it takes time and there's no right or wrong path. It is whatever path you want for you, not because what you think about what is right for you or what you think you were supposed to do. And you can have really beautiful, really fulfilling career paths. Everything has pros and cons, pluses and minuses, and it's such an amazing industry. And I'm just really so grateful for the three of our amazing panelists just to like be really raw. So so thank you all so much. Thank you guys for whoever joined live, and then thank you for everyone listening. And I would encourage you to, Corinne, maybe we can put their socials in the chat, or we'll put it in the description where people can follow along with your journey. So yeah, we'll put that in the description of this. Kat, Candace, Jacqueline, I know you are very busy. I really appreciate you taking time with our students, and thank you all so much. And thanks to our schools and students for tuning in.